Hello Gunners, welcome back to Arsenal Daily Talk, your number one destination for the latest Arsenal transfer news, breaking updates, match analysis and everything happening at the Emirates. If you love Arsenal as much as we do, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications and let's dive straight into today's massive Arsenal news. Come on you Gunners, breaking Arsenal news. Arsenal's pursuit of one of the Premier League's brightest young stars has just taken another dramatic twist. Reports suggest that Morgan Rogers has become Mikel Arteta's number one attacking target this summer, with the Arsenal manager viewing the Aston Villa star as the ideal player to take his squad to another level. But there is one enormous obstacle standing in the way. Aston Villa are demanding an astonishing fee of around £130 million and remain adamant that Rogers is simply not for sale. Yes, you heard that correctly. Despite Arsenal's admiration, Villa's current position is crystal clear. They have no intention of losing one of their most valuable assets. So what does this mean for Arsenal? Could the Gunners actually break their transfer record to land Rogers? Or is this one transfer saga that could dominate the entire summer before ending in disappointment? Today we'll break down everything. Why Arteta is pushing so hard for Morgan Rogers, why Aston Villa are refusing to negotiate, whether Arsenal could realistically meet that massive valuation, the financial implications, and what could happen next in one of the biggest transfer stories of the summer. Before we continue, if you're enjoying our daily Arsenal coverage and want the fastest breaking news every single day, make sure you subscribe to Arsenal Daily Talk, hit the like button and turn on notifications so you never miss a massive Arsenal update. Now let's dive deeper. When Arsenal identify a player as their priority target, supporters know the club has usually spent months analysing every aspect of that player's game. That appears to be exactly the case with Morgan Rogers. At only 23 years old, Rogers has developed into one of England's most exciting attacking players. His combination of pace, strength, creativity, ball-carrying ability and versatility has caught the attention of clubs across Europe. But according to reports, it's Arsenal who are showing the strongest admiration. Mikel Arteta reportedly believes Rogers possesses qualities that perfectly fit Arsenal's attacking philosophy. Unlike traditional wingers who stay wide, Rogers has shown he can play almost anywhere across the front line. He can operate on the left wing, on the right, as an attacking midfielder, behind the striker, and even as a false nine when required. That tactical flexibility is something Arteta values enormously. Modern football is all about players who can adapt during matches, confuse defenders, and create overloads in different areas. Morgan Rogers fits that profile almost perfectly. His physical power also offers something Arsenal sometimes lack against deep defensive blocks. While Arsenal have plenty of technically gifted players, Rogers combines technical quality with explosive athleticism. He can receive the ball under pressure, beat defenders one-on-one, and drive directly toward goal. Those qualities have made him one of the Premier League's fastest rising stars. It's therefore no surprise that Arteta reportedly sees him as someone capable of immediately strengthening Arsenal's title challenge. However, identifying a player is one thing, signing him is something completely different. And that's where Arsenal face perhaps their biggest obstacle of the entire transfer window. Aston Villa simply do not want to sell. Aston Villa's £130 million stand. The biggest headline surrounding this transfer isn't just Arsenal's interest. It's the extraordinary response coming from Aston Villa. According to reports, Villa have placed a valuation of around £130 million on Morgan Rogers, while maintaining that the England international is not for sale. That figure sends a powerful message to every club monitoring the player. In football, clubs sometimes set extremely high asking prices not because they expect someone to pay them, but because they want to discourage interest altogether. This appears to be exactly what Aston Villa are doing. Morgan Rogers has quickly become one of the faces of their project. Losing him would mean weakening a squad that wants to compete consistently in Europe and challenge the Premier League's traditional top clubs. From Villa's perspective, selling one of their brightest stars would send the wrong message to supporters, teammates, and potential new signings. Instead, they want to build around Rodgers, not cash in on him. That explains why Arsenal's task has become incredibly difficult. Even if the Gunners decide to open formal negotiations, they may discover there is very little room for compromise. Villa know they are in a strong negotiating position. Rodgers is under contract, he's still young, and his value could rise even further if he continues developing over the next season. For Arsenal, patience could become just as important as ambition. Why Arteta wants Rodgers? So much. Despite the huge obstacles, reports continue linking Arsenal with the talented attacker because Mikel Arteta believes Rodgers offers something unique. Arteta wants a squad capable of competing on every front. Premier League, UEFA, Champions League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup. That requires more than just a strong starting 11. It requires elite depth. Morgan Rodgers could rotate with multiple attacking players while also challenging for a starting place. His versatility would allow Arteta to change formations during games without making substitutions. Imagine Rodgers combining with Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard, Declan Rice and Kai Havertz. It would give Arsenal another powerful runner capable of breaking defensive lines and creating chances in transition. His ability to carry the ball over long distances is one of his biggest strengths. When Arsenal face teams that defend deep, players who can eliminate opponents through dribbling become incredibly valuable. That's exactly why Arteta reportedly admires him. But can Arsenal really afford it? This is where the debate becomes fascinating. A £130 million transfer would make Morgan Rodgers one of the most expensive signings in Premier League history. Even for Arsenal, that's a massive financial commitment. The club must also consider financial fair play regulations, wage structure, and other transfer priorities. Arsenal may still want another striker, defensive reinforcements, and additional squad depth before the window closes. Spending such a huge amount on one player could affect every other transfer plan this summer. That's why many insiders believe Arsenal will continue monitoring the situation rather than rushing into negotiations. If Villa soften their stance later in the window, or if circumstances change, the Gunners could be ready to act. But, as things stand, Aston Villa remain firm. They are determined to keep one of their most valuable stars. So the big question now is, will Arsenal keep pushing for Morgan Rodgers despite Villa's massive valuation, or will Arteta eventually turn his attention to alternative targets? That answer could define the rest of Arsenal's summer transfer window. Before we move into part 3, if you're enjoying this breaking transfer analysis, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to Arsenal Daily Talk, and turn on notifications. Your support helps us bring you the latest Arsenal news every single day. What happens next? So where does this transfer saga go from here? At this moment, Arsenal's interest in Morgan Rodgers is very real, but completing the deal looks incredibly difficult. Aston Villa have made their position clear. They value the England international at around £130 million and insist he is not for sale. Unless that stance changes, Arsenal face one of the toughest negotiations of the summer. However, football transfers can change very quickly. We've seen many untouchable players eventually move clubs after weeks of negotiations, improved offers, or changes in a club's financial situation. That's why Arsenal supporters shouldn't completely rule this transfer out. But it's equally important not to assume a deal is close. For now, there is no agreement, no accepted bid, and no indication that Aston Villa are prepared to sell. If Arsenal decide that the asking price is simply too high, Mikel Arteta and sporting director Andrea Berta could shift their attention to alternative attacking targets before the transfer window closes. The coming days and weeks will therefore be crucial. Will Arsenal test Aston Villa's resolve with a formal offer? Will Villa continue refusing every approach? Or could another unexpected twist completely change the direction of this transfer story? One thing is certain, this is a situation every Arsenal fan should keep a close eye on. As soon as any reliable update emerges, whether it's a bid, fresh negotiations, or a change in Aston Villa's position, we'll bring it to you right here on Arsenal Daily Talk. If you enjoyed today's breaking news and analysis, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to Arsenal Daily Talk, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another Arsenal transfer update. Now it's your turn, Gunners. Would you pay £130 million for Morgan Rogers, or do you think Arsenal should spend that money on other positions? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, stay safe, and as always,